Yo, what's up guys, welcome back. So, next match, Cross-Banlist Cup. Second match here in Group E. So again, let's zoom in right. We have two titans, two title candidates, actually, I think. As you'll be seeing in the votes, both are very close to each other, right? I mean, the power level of both these decks is astonishing. One deck from 2020 being the deck list you see here, so Infernoble Knights versus an OCG list, by the way. Brave, PK Adventure, PK Phantom Knights. I don't know, as you see, both are pretty similar in power creep, maybe, but I feel that obviously, as I've seen through the comments, obviously going first is very important for both decks, but the thing is that, okay, Brave PK, Adventure PK is main decking stuff like Crossout plus Droplet. Droplet is of course very strong against a deck focused on, like Infernoble Knights, establishing their big board full of negations, but I mean, we know the Droplet is there, so I need to end my board here, like Infernoble Knights end with Herald. Herald, again, prevents your opponent from using Forbidden Droplet. Anyway, so Infernoble Knights go first, and that's very, very crucial, because as you know, there was a time that Infernoble Knights was using Smoke Grenade. Smoke Grenade, a very old school card. Was it from Labyrinth of Nightmare? I think so, years ago. Very old set, one of the first sets from at least for Yugioh. So, long story short, the power of Infernoble Knights lie in any two-card combination leads to Isolde, and Isolde is, you know, like your, I believe it's called Gamba, your level 2 fire tuner, right? And that leads to Helki, Helki leads to Aurora Dawn, and, you know, in format where Helki, Fibrex and Linkcross are legal in the same format, it's again ridiculous. So you go for the Mega Fan, because this particular list was Cameron Neal's list. Was it the first place list? I think so. 40 cards. The first list I showed was 60 cards a couple of weeks ago, but I definitely like this list over a 60 card, which again is, you know, might be a bit more or less consistent. So this particular opening field was superb, super standard for this particular deck. You had an Omni Negation with Boral Savage, you had the potential Herald, plus the Charles, their level 9 Synchro, right, which, you know, lets you attach something during the end phase, and as you know, when Charles is equipped, for example, I'm not sure if that needs to be equipped to Charles, but long story short, you can just, you know, pop, let's say, Smoke Grenade during the end phase, and as you know, Smoke Grenade is basically a confiscation for your opponent. So, again, it just picks away the one crucial potential out if your opponent does have, like, for example, in 2020 format, that was like a Dark Ruler no more, for example, and I feel the strength of Infernoble Knights, the fact that it can potentially pump out with this one, I believe it's called O-Gear, that the deck has the capability to put up like an Omni Negation or a Monster Negation before the 5th summon, so potentially putting up your full combo, your full Helki Aurora Dawn combo with negation, with interruption, or prevent your opponent from using a Nibiru, because you had like the Gearfried on your side of the field before your 5th summon. Problem is that, okay, you're running a couple of bricks in the main deck for Infernoble Knights. There is a Deskbot, there is the Mega Phantom Beast tuner, which you didn't want. Well, opening with it is a problem. There were Infernoble Knight lists that were running Plague Spreader for something like that, to put, you know, something from your hand back to the top of the deck. So anyway, okay, 1-1. It's fine though, again, going first, and again, this is one of the combo lines for Infernoble Knights that can put up Gearfried before the 5th summon, so on summon number 4. Again, so 4th summon here with Gearfried, because of, I believe it's called Renault, the level 1 tuner, or, you know, it turns itself into a tuner when it's special summoned, puts up the Omni Negation, you know, because again, you have to respect the potential Nibiru. Was it this duel? I'm not sure. Again, this combo line is very similar to the one that I showed before. Otherwise, you know, you're going for Tatsunoko, I believe the name is, right, to put up the Omni Negation, being the Boral Savage. But again, I need those 4 spaces for the Aurora Dawn combo. So blow away Power Tool. Again, Power Tool gave Living Fossil. Again, there were builds of Infernoble Knights that were running DDR as well. But that might be a bit inconsistent. Again, 60 card builds, you had the space, but for 40 cards built, built 3 Living Fossil basically does the same. Most importantly, you want to reborn, for example, then depending on which extenders you had, you went for, you know, like in this case, you reborn your level 2 tuner. And in hindsight, for me, this wasn't the best play. I sacrificed my Herald for I was like, okay, I do have an Omni Negation for Boral Savage in form of Boral Savage. Charles hits the potential droplet, so my opponent needs to draw it as the 6th card if I didn't discard it right with Smoke Grenade. But again, in hindsight, it was just better to leave the Herald on the field, because again, your opponent needs to send the cards, you know, discarded or something like that from droplet to the graveyard, and again, Herald prevents that. So that was a small mistake on my part, but in the long run for this particular duel it didn't really matter too much. So again, Smoke Grenade Shenanigans, Token Collector, that's definitely a good card against it speaks for itself against Infernoble Knights. So okay, game number 4, again goes second, and there's still chance. I mean, if your opponent goes full combo, they end on, what is it, Destiny Hero, Phoenix Enforcer, they end on the Griffin, being again your Omni Negation for the Adventure Engine, a couple of like traps as well. The traps could be a problem, but as you know, the like Infernoble Knights is known for multiple follow-up plays, multiple ways to play through your opponent's negations or interruptions, right? But sadly no Dark Ruler, and that makes things much harder. So drop Renault, try to get stuff going, but it's a bit wishful thinking, I guess. So search the red layer off of Isolde, so again, red layer cannot be used. Well, mainly this line was to search red layer and then use it as an in-hand synchro material with Tatsunoko, I believe again is the name, for again the Savage, as we've seen in one of the previous duels. But I get Dimensional Barrier, or, you know, Dimensional Barrier, which it's basically like Artifact Sight. Again, the Brave PK deck is an OCG deck, and from what I was reading throughout Road of the King, the Artifact Sight package wasn't that popular back then. So that's why there was no side package with Dagda. But I mean, Dimensional Barrier basically does the same. Plus, the OCG decklist does have advantage, at least does have the advantage that it's main decking Maxi. Again, something that I haven't mentioned yet here is why Brave PK indeed should have the slight advantage over Infernoble Knights, and that's Maxi. I'm honest. I mean, if your opponent, let's say if Infernoble Knights go first and your opponent Maxis you, yeah, then what can you do? But it's basically for Master Duel format also. I mean, it is what it is. So, a couple of equips to red layer, but I mean, it's not going to matter. The Carabini plus, whatchamacallit, the Link 3 for Fent Pardish is still there for some popping shenanigans. I drew drop Nibiru, but it doesn't really matter. Plus, okay, yeah, Phoenix Enforcer is there as well. So yeah, this should indeed be the duel. Livier hits the board, gets back one of the banished Phantom Knights, basically another effect monster on the field for the potential Anaconda play. Oh, okay, Boral Sword, yeah, indeed, Boral Sword. It has been a while. You know, people are main decking, are playing Access Code Talker more. Okay, so game number 5 in the game. If there is an XC, it's probably going to be game. I probably need to stop my plays. I can't give my opponent more options, potentially Biru or whatever, or more outs to potentially get rid of the Herald on my side of the field. So again, before summon number 5, I think drop Gear Freed, and this is very strong again. No potential Nibiru. Plus I, again, have the potential, the Smoke Grenade during the end phase, so again, get free information about my opponent's hand. So again, go for the standard combo line of Formal Synchron, draw 1, and then, you know, eventually lead up the potential Auroradon play, and again, these combos are pretty much always the same. Are you able to get out an Omni Negation, or here in this case it was Gear Freed, okay, then you don't go for the Tatsunoko line for Savage, but instead you go for this particular play. Again, Gear Freed is there for the potential Nibiru negation, or Hand Trap negation, but let's face it, it's mainly Nibiru. Drop the Herald, and now I should be leaving it face up on the field. So again, go for the, you know, Reborn Gamba and Charles as well, and again, make sure that Herald is still face up on the field. Again, now it was needed, because Yeah, because of Smoke Grenade, right? Smoke Grenade can only discard one, and Droplet cannot be activated, and all cards from my opponent's hand and deck are banished instead. So here I guess you could toy around still with Droplet, send a monster from your field to the graveyard, right? To negate Herald, that I guess could have been an option, but let's face it, there was many more interruptions. With Charles, I had, whatchamacallit, the Savage was still there for negation, so I don't think it would have mattered, but again, going first was a crucial one for this. So Infernoble Knights takes this one over Adventure/Brave BK. Next group is again Group B. As you see, we have a Black Wings deck. The deck list has been updated against Infernity, but again, that's the synchro list. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Signing out. Peace.